Hello, Milwaukee. We're here to bring awareness to our communities. This is so necessary for our county. We intentionally educate our communities on the impact that reckless driving can cause. We want to make sure our offenders are held accountable. We want to make sure healing takes place for those who've been impacted. So let me share my journey with you. February 1st, 2022, I was a Lyft driver picking up a young man, 17 years old, to take him up the street to Marshall High School. Time I got to the school, he requested for me to drop him off at the football field. Now listen, I don't work for MPS 12 years. My last assignment was Marshall High School, so I knew where the cameras were. And I knew not to take him to the football field because nothing would be caught on camera. So I parked by the exit where all the teachers go. And he was hesitant to get out my truck. So when I looked back at the young man, he pulled a gun. He said, "Ma'am, I'm gonna need your truck." Now, I had already stepped away from my county job for about 10 months to take care of my mom. So I was making a little change then. And in that moment, the HSW side of me came out because I was already encouraging this young man to go down the right path. So it kind of startled me. I took my belongings, gave him my truck that I had just purchased 5 months ago for my mom to commute her back and forth to appointments. In the midst of that, I started running up to the front of that building in hopes that he wouldn't shoot me in my back. And so when I got to the front of the building, I went through all of the process with the principals. We called the police, detectives. They all came to that location and they interviewed me. Now, by my husband working at MPS, he was able to get information quickly. And the cameras was so well visual, we were able to see his face, right? So people knew who he was because he belonged to the school. Fast forward, 30 minutes after he carjacked me, he got into a high-speed chase. Now, during that time, he was live, and he was just showing off in my truck. He comes back down the same street that he carjacked me with at full speed. And I jumped out of the detective car because I thought he was going to hit because he was swerving. He jumped on the grass. Kids was coming out of dismissal and almost hit those children. And they knew right away who he was. So they had to call off the chase. But it said in my police report that all day they were going in and out of chases with him, and it was reckless to the point where they had to pull it off. So let's fast forward to the next day. He go back up to Marshall to pick up some girls in my truck. Now they go live. It's on Facebook. I'm traumatized. I didn't know what else to do. I get a phone call from my adult kids and say, "Your truck is on Facebook. He in a high-speed chase." And all I could do is say, "You know what? God destroyed my truck right now." And that's what I said, literally, coming from a breakfast engagement. And when I say 30 minutes later, he was driving reckless and he hit cars on 76 and Villard. It was Hart Auto Shop there at the time. He tore up all those cars and he hurt people that was in the intersection. One victim, pelvic bone broke. Now the girls is in the car, they thought it was cute. They live, he's spinning around in my truck. It was a black Cherokee Jeep. He's spinning around, "I got this." You can hear it on the video, "I got this." Then he T-boned the car and my car started tumbling. All of this is on YouTube, tumbling. And the girl that was in the back seat was ejected out of my back window and my car hit on top of that baby. Her whole face was smashed. They started working on that baby because she was 16 and she coded right then and there. She died right then and there. They're working on her, working on her. They done arrest him and his other girlfriend that was in the front. Found every evidence of what he did to me in that truck, the gun, the hoodie, the mask. But they were working on that baby and they had to rush her to the hospital. And I found out later that she was in a coma, 3 months, and had to go through a lot of surgeries because of his reckless driving. And my heart went out to that baby because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't think about my trauma at that time. I'm thinking about these kids who I serve every day. And so when we get to court, to fast forward that, when we get to court, I was the only one that was in that courtroom to try to hold him accountable. And I was there with all the evidence. It seemed like a good case. He was looking at 100 years because he had 9 charges. But then they came up with an agreement, and so he has 6 felonies. So that reduces the years, right? So they called me and they said, what you think he should have? I said, well, he should get 15. I'm being nice, 15 at least. Because in that moment, he got mad at his mama, took her gun, and called for a lift, which was me. Never been in trouble before. Worked a job, because he paid me through his bank account. So I'm doing my investigation work. But in the moment of that court hearing, that judge did not judge the case appropriately. He got 5 years and could get out in 2 years on good behavior. But there was victims. And I knew then, with my trauma, that I was no longer going to be a victim, but a survivor, to come and share my story. And I did that with Safe and Sound in the 7th district. I went into schools and I'm sharing it with the little kids. Because at this time, you got babies being groomed to do crime. And I had to spread the word to those babies to encourage them, to educate them, to let them know it's more in them than what their peers is showing them, or their big brothers is showing them, or what the neighborhood is showing them. And that's the movement in which I'm going to continue to fight and not give up on that. I'm grateful to be here in this moment, but I know there's more work to do. Police don't have the answer. The mayor don't have the answer. The county exec don't have the answer. We got the answer because it starts in the home. And we all have to come together and work together if we're going to sit there and hold people accountable for these reckless driving. Yes, this area is a high-risk area. You see it on the news all the time. I drive past here to go to work and home every day in hopes that I don't get hit. But what I'm saying is we got to hold them accountable. It ain't just not the kids either. These are adults as well. When people are unalive, where do those families get their healing from? We got to do something bigger than this. We got to come with a movement, come with a conference meeting and come together to help them heal when they have lost someone due to reckless driving. So I encourage you as a community to stand behind all the agencies that is going forth to bring awareness so that we can make a difference. It got to start somewhere, so why not us? So that's all I have for you on today. I'm going to be praying and working with these agencies here to make sure that we hit those areas to bring awareness. Remember, we lack and we perish because of lack of knowledge. We have to gain knowledge in order how to move forward. So don't turn a deaf ear to what we're doing. Join us so that we can make a difference in our city. And then other cities can see what we're doing. And that's what I have for you. Again, this is Pamela Watkins. I am the CEO and founder of Believe Until Something Happens. And that's what we do out here in the community, bring awareness. And we do it in love. We're not trying to downplay you, but we're doing it in love. So come out and join us. And we hope to see you there. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. All right, everyone, I want to conclude today's press conference and thank everybody for showing up. And a special thanks to Ms. Pam Watkins for coming on and sharing her story, because it definitely drove me in, and I was definitely seeing everything that she was talking about actually happening, like it was a video recording. But I want to say another thing as far as reckless driving too. I just want everybody to understand that we all have to be mindful and careful of what we're doing out here. You know, we have to move and keep our head on the swivel because we never know what the next person move gonna be, and we always want to make sure we being aware and staying alert of our surroundings. Thank y'all for coming out.